This is the story of Altis in 1974. The communist takeover, the resulting naval battles between NATO and Warsaw Pact forces, and its eventual recapture by the British. The islands that would become the Republic of Altis and Stratis have known conflict from the early 20th century until modern times. Historians of Altis and Stratis tend to focus on events on land. But locals know they live on islands. They are surrounded and their lives are dominated by thalassa, the sea. And they know that control of the islands inevitably falls to those who exercise thalassokratia, sea power. Up ahead, the radar station. Powering up the hill, his thigh muscles are burning. I could take up bike riding to keep fit, he thinks. Could even start a trend. The turn-off to Girna. As he rides across the island, avoiding security patrols, James reflects on his humanitarian mission of the past couple of days. But how exactly did the company know, he wondered. Guess it's their job to know. He was working on his plane in his hangar in Athens when the phone rang. It was an old friend from Hong Kong. They had met when James was on R&R from working special operations in Vietnam, and his soon-to-be friend, one of the expat British police officers. They had met during a raid on a disreputable establishment in Kowloon. With James in police custody and still sobering, they struck up a friendship either side of the bars. James went back to the war. His friend transferred to the Royal Altis Military Police and was now retired, working private security for the reclusive Greek shipping magnate Plato Parnassus. His friend wanted a favour. The government in Altis was in collapse, and his former police colleagues, those that were still alive, heading to airfields on the east coast. But no one would fly them out. Could he recommend anyone? As if in a dream, James heard himself volunteer to help out. They talked logistics on the phone for over an hour. When he hung up, James realised he had never even quoted a price. The next 2 days saw shuttle flights to and from an airfield near Ferris on the southeast coast. No co-pilot. Bringing out RAMP and their families, as well as soldiers and civilians, 5 at a time. The last flight out involved a firefight as insurgents closed in, and a lucky escape. At the end of the second day, with as many rescued as possible and his plane secured and refueled, he headed back to his office, rubbing tired eyes in exhaustion. On his desk was a silver metal attaché-style briefcase. He regarded it for a while with suspicion. Then, out of curiosity, he opened the briefcase. Carefully packed on the left side of the case was a bottle of single malt whiskey. Bowmore's 12-year-old. How gentlemen say thank you. On the right side was a parcel wrapped in brown wax paper and secured by twine with a careful bow tied in the top. Secured in place under the bow was a simple business card, embossed with 2 letters facing opposite directions. The letters P. He untied the bow, opened the parcel, and stepped back, shocked. Inside, in crisp $100 denominations, was more money than he ever would have thought to charge. And much more than he earned from the company. How rich gentlemen say thank you. He deeply appreciated both gifts, but, exhausted, he availed himself of the Bowmores first, and raised a glass in silent salute to his friend. Shaking his head and laughing at the memory, he continued on his way to the radar station. The road sign ahead says Gurna 4 kilometres and Ahia Marina 3 kilometres. A fast way back, perhaps. He looks over to the right. A soldier in the courtyard, guarding the road. Where there is one, there will be a squad. Maybe not a shortcut then. Time to get out of here. Not far now. The sight of the soldiers has given his legs fresh energy. Up ahead, the radar station seems quiet. His senses suddenly alert, he cycles on. Eyes scanning. Well, here it is. According to the sign. And the giant radome. A jeep. And the scientists. He parks the bicycle against the wall for later. Well, gentlemen, I'm here to rescue you. Are you ready to leave?
Ready. Ready.
5 o'clock. The helicopter will be on station soon, waiting for the signal flare. Let's go. Gastovski wonders if the radar station will ever be operational now. They head south to the rendezvous. He looks over the hills and valleys. I'm glad I didn't have to walk, he thinks. It would have taken forever. Turn left at the crossroads. Past the small village. This far south, he is less worried about being seen. But no one is around. The western coast of the island. ahead, the lighthouse. Dawn has well and truly broken, he thinks. Getting back unnoticed might be a little harder. Off to their left, the beautiful Aegean Sea. Off to their right, the fishing village at J Cove. Gastovski lets the jeep coast down the hill to make less noise. But the village seems deserted. Anyone with common sense has left the island, he thinks. Well, that explains why I am here. The monument. The RV. He checks the jeep. A flare gun. Perfect. This is an impressive monument. A Spartan shield and spear. The inscription reads Molon Labe, come and get them. Molon Labe was the reply of the Spartan king Leonidas at Thermopylae to the Persian emperor's offer for the 300 Spartans to lay down their weapons and surrender. The very essence of laconic. Dawn breaks over the horizon, and his trained ears pick up a familiar sound.
Roger.
He orders the radar scientists out of the jeep.
Waiting. Ready.
The helicopter. He fires the signal flare. A CH-53 Sea Stallion helicopter. The pilot knows his stuff. In marine colours. Semper Fi. Get to the chopper, he orders. The helicopter has its passengers. And its orders. Gastovski watches wistfully as it flies off. He would much prefer to be on board. But the Cessna won't return itself to Uncle Sam. Quiet returns to Stratis. Oh well. Back to the airport. At least I have a jeep. Sometime later, a helicopter with two very special passengers lands on the aircraft carrier USS Forrestal. She has just arrived in the Mediterranean to supplement the US 6th Fleet, and is already hard at work. In the next episode, with Stratis under threat of invasion, NATO conducts aerial reconnaissance of communist positions on Altis and makes a shocking discovery. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe and donate, and stay tuned for the next episode.